Welcome back to MCOC Al Bundy Rules. I have Chapter 1 of the May 2021 event quest here, a call for help. So we're going to be starting off with 1.1. This will also have 1.2 here, Scientific Exploit. We see the debuff on the opponent inflict fragility, whittle down defender 60% damage, no debuffs. Any buff activated attacker could be piffered. So we're seeing the advantage here is going to be for bringing science champs. Looking at the path, I see a abomination there, so I'm going to bring a poison immune champ for that. And I'm looking at Spider-Man. I see all kinds of nodes here. I'm not even sure what to make of some of these. These look like brand new nodes to me. Power snack, bullet time. So juke. So the bullet time with the Spider-Man on the evade stuff. I'm not too sure what to make of that, but give it a try. Nothing like new event quest with some new nodes, and figure it out as we go. So it looks like this month these walkthroughs might even be very more useful, seeing some interesting looking nodes. But let's get started off. I picked out a easier looking path out of them. Going to be starting off here with Guillotine 99. Bring up a variety of champs. So I brought a few champs to clear the path, and I sure am not starting off good there, am I? Anyway, it's okay. So I brought a few champs to go ahead and clear the path, and brought a champ or two specifically for that boss, that Spider-Man. I'm not too sure what to make of that Spider-Man with those nodes, but we will wait and see. Alright, so going to get started with the Guillotine 99. I'm using Spider-Ham here. If you're not too sure how I use him or what I'm doing, I do have a tutorial on him. He's actually one of my favorite champs. Got some really good damage, especially on longer fights when he can really build up and bank those porker poppers. And I'm trying to get the little ones along the way, but they do bank into the gray ones too. But I'm having a hard time getting them out so far. This Guillotine 99 is being kind of stingy with me. Normally you can kind of have them just melt themselves when using Spider-Ham. This is one of those cases where the AI just doesn't want to use the specials, and that's always a little bit painful, but even more painful when you're using somebody like Spider-Ham who really relies on it to get the damage. Well, there's some right there. Took a big chunk of damage with that one, and now just go ahead and finish up this fight, and there we go. Took a little bit with some rather just non-wanting to throw special AI at the beginning, but once we got roll, we got roll. Let's get on to Mephisto now. I brought Human Torch specifically for this fight. All my science are pretty much for clearing the path, but a couple ones I did scout ahead specifically for was for Human Torch and Abomination, because if you don't have good counters for them, it can get a little tricky. And this one not as bad, but I figured if needed, Human Torch can also do some work for me on the boss if needed, because I really have no clue. Normally I'm not too worried about a boss on a 1.1 on a Cav node for EQ. However, seeing an OG Spider-Man, seeing some of those weird nodes and 100% evades, I don't know, those always and can't miss 100%. I don't know what overrides what. Does that mean Falcon? So I don't know what to expect from that, so I want to make sure I have enough firepower in the bank to go ahead and make sure I can handle that with extra people if I need the team approach. It was back onto this. Just simplify right here. No gotta worry too much about anything on this fight when using Human Torch, mainly due to his immunities for Incinerate. And oh, well, I guess I gotta worry about not running right into a attack, but anyway, that's okay. Didn't do too much damage, thankfully, and starting off with some fairly sloppy play to begin with, but that's what makes them more legit, right? Who wants to see constant perfection all the time under realistic set expectations? Let's get hit in the head a few times here and there. Nothing wrong with that as long as we get the objective done. Objective done is always to get through these walkthroughs. Item free, as far as referring to no revives, no health potions, no boost, that kind of stuff. Just get it done with the people I got at hand and with the smile on the face. Now let's get this hot dog eating pig going at Ghost Rider, kind of smack him around, hopefully have a little cleaner fight than my first fight with him. Kind of like to show a little bit of what he can do, trying to mix up my fights a little bit on the path with some champs, try to show you all some different champs along the way. Historically speaking on EQ, these are going to be some new nodes, so I'm going to speak historically now. Usually it doesn't take one or two specific counters for me, usually there's a bunch, so I'm going to try to mix it up. That way I don't want to focus too much on one champ clearing the path that you might not have usually. Unless I just really want to kind of highlight them. Occasionally kind of highlight a champ in here just because they're fun. But it's a good way to see him in. Yeah, Spider-Ham got smacked in the head a couple times. Sure has not been my cleanest fighting. But clean only gets you so far. It's about results, getting it done. So keep smacking that Ghost Rider and knock him down. Enjoy that hot dog, you pig. Alright, I'll get that dude out of that picture that just showed up for, I forget his name. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, when I first saw him, I thought it was Robin from DC. I'm like, why do they got DC characters in here now? I was a little confused. But then again, I don't follow comics, so I don't know who most of these people are unless they were in a movie. But tell me he doesn't look like Robin, at least at a quick glance. Anyway, I was like, where's Batman? Okay, back to the fights. So, we got Venompool. Venompool should be nice, simple. Won't bring on my Red Guardian. I really brought Red Guardian not so much for the path like my other science. I did primarily bring him as kind of a backup for the boss fight. Because the boss fight, those nodes seem just really weird to me. So definitely want to bring a backup for the boss fight. Usually I'll try to bring 2 champs specifically for the boss, 3 for the path is my normal way. So that is my goal here as well. He's my backup boss fighter as needed, but I decided to go ahead and give him a little fight along the path as well, mainly because Spider-Ham's been taking a lot more hits than he should be with that big old head of his. I blame that big old head, and got some nice damage there. Oh, it was trying to bank that and missed time to the stun right there. That's okay. Getting this damage done. There we go. Fight's just about over, and down he goes. Take a nap, you big old Venompool guy. Alright, there's that Robin-looking guy. Okay, here we go. Let's get on over to Storm now. Not too much left in this path. Looks like a couple fights left. Not too bad. See, Night Thrasher. Night Thrasher is going to be my primary. I feel kind of safest with them with those unknown weird nodes. So he's going to be my primary. I'm saving him for full health for the boss fight. Let's get back to Spider-Ham. He's down to a 3rd health mainly because of my sloppy fighting. However, you see what I could get out of him here. Hopefully he can finish this fight. If not, not the biggest deal in the world. Got those poppers re-triggered. The Porker Poppers are by far and away the key to using him, and you notice how after they're spent they turn to gray. If I can get them up, for these fights the health pools aren't big enough probably, but if I get them up to 15 to 25 I can use an S3 and reactivate them all at once for crazy damage. So that's why I am doing that in case that's needed. However, if you're not familiar how to use this dude, watch my tutorial on him. He's a pretty awesome champ. And I don't spam the S once to keep them active because 1, it's not needed when they bank if I can activate at higher levels. 2, I'm running recoil with suicides, therefore my Porker Popper would get melted very, very quickly if I was spamming S once. So I brought my Abomination Immortal specifically for this fight. Really my only ranked up science poison immune champ. Well, him and Golk, I guess, actually. It was supposed to be a great champ. I just haven't had a chance to really use him that much yet. So eventually I'm going to get around to. I got such a huge haul of different champs lately that I've been using and ranking up and playing with. I have been able to get this guy up to rank 4 and have used him minorly, but haven't had the chance to really learn his rotations, his place, all that stuff yet. So if I'm using him weird, yeah, sorry, I'm just using him like a normal champ for now until I really get a chance to learn what he does. Right now, I just really only primarily brought him in for his poison immunity. Otherwise, this dude could possibly melt my team pretty fast and easily. So continuing this up, trying to get the bait. Some of the baits have been a little bit stubborn in EQ thus far. Not terribly bad, but taking a little bit more to bait him out than sometimes anyways. And go ahead and knock down the fight. So A-bomb meets his need. That nice looking creepy two connected heads. And get on to the end of this path now. Gonna move on over. We got that Spider-Man OG, who is already tricky evasive. Usually it's pretty easy to counter with certain champs, but there's some weird stuff on this node, and I'm not 100% sure what it means, so I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna come back and do some more checks on this later after these walkthroughs. But see the best defenders, so the increased evades the bullet time is when I'm worried about stun. So when the defenders simply immediately remove the stun and gain an evade charge, which grants 100% chance to evade. I don't know what any of that means. Power snack, next buff, the enhanced special, one unblockable, increased evade. So bullet time, I'm going to have to just kind of play around with that because it's a big old long weird description and I just don't really know what it means until I play. But good, I was hoping that Night Thrasher's skateboard attacks never miss would override the 100% evade stuff, so that makes me happy there to see that did work. I wasn't too sure which overrides which when there's 100% always, never, can't miss. I mean, what takes priority there? Anyway, so Night Thrasher is good. I am looking at these evade charges, so the parries does the special, but at least with Night Thrasher, as long as I focus on mediums or heavies or specials that use a skateboard, I'm good to go. So that is a pretty good counter there. In the meantime, I am going to look to see about that stun thingy from that bullet time. So I do have a couple evade. Oh, I just took a straight up S1 in the gut. Another one coming, at least I did a better job there. And so I can only do medium attacks when I'm dashing in because the light attacks will be evaded. So I got 4 of those evade charges on him right now. So if I dexed a basic attack, I believe that should stun him based on the amount over there. So with 5, there we go. Yeah, that did work. So if you do a bunch of parries, kind of build them up and then take a long stun, that looks like that works pretty well. So there's a way for bullet time. Oops, power gain. Dang, I just did a buff and that gave him an S3. So silly mistake there. Too many nodes. I forgot about that power gain node, and that pushed him to S3 when I dex back. So learn from that mistake, but also learned that Night Thrasher was a pretty good counter on there if need be, but also learn a little bit about how these this bullet time weirdness works. So again, I'm trying this stuff again. Trying to get a feel for just a different gameplay. Nothing crazy, just something a style I'm not used to. So there we go ahead. I got that stun on. Another way that could work good for this fight, if you didn't want to use someone like Night Thrasher, use a high attacker. Would work really well, but I'm also feeling like Red Guardian was good because once I got him stunned, I was able to get that slow off. And now the slow should work around the evades to keep it. So Red Guardian should be a really good counter for this fight as well. So both my counters worked well. My mistake on Night Thrasher is I forgot about the power gain buff. Got hit with an S3, but there we see a little bit of working around that node, which was kind of a weird node. Not too bad, just going to take some getting used to. And a couple counters that seem to work pretty well overall. So let's get into 1.2 now here. Going to benefit. I'm bringing a few mystics for the path and then a couple champs for the boss based on what's going to be needed. We'll see mystics taking advantage here. Feels the bar power, get the prowess, so I can build a bunch of prowess with the mystics on the nullifies, feats the power and steady perseverance there. So when they launch a special, the defender launches a special, they gain temporary stun immunity. So I gotta remember that. I tend to forget things like that. See Hitmonkey, another one who evades sometimes. Silverfish, Overreach, Fury, special, buffed up. Okay, a lot of stuff. I hate reading a bunch of notes, I really do, which causes me to make more mistakes than I should at times, but oh well, mistakes are part of the fun. Let's get going down which appears to be the least noted path, so I'm going to call that the easiest path. I brought my Sasquatch for many reasons. When I love Sasquatch, I'm going to kind of highlight him a little bit here. Occasionally people ask me why I ranked him up, and the most obvious response is, why in the world would you ask me that unless you have no clue how to use him? And if that's the case and you don't know how to use him, watch my tutorial on him. Watch some of my gameplay on him. This dude is a beast, and we're going to watch just how beast he is during this video. I promise you of that as we get to the appropriate times for that. But right now, what I'm doing, he does require a different play style. So what I'm doing is I'm looking up, I'm watching my ruptures, I'm watching my numbers here. He's good for here because of the frozen error counter. So Wrath of Tenarok activated, so I just went ahead and I was saving up that S2 for that. I didn't have a lot of ruptures on him, so if I get a couple more ruptures, do another S2, I'll get a little more damage. Did not get a crit there, but still almost got 100k even without a crit. And one of those hits critical, and you got some ruptures on the woo-wee, let me tell you, they can do some big old damage. The good thing about them too is you can kind of spam them. So I got a little bit of lag here. I actually had to cut out the lag for like 3 minutes and kicked me off, so I just kind of cut that part out. That's why I jumped. Figured he didn't want to watch 3 minutes of lag listening to me complain and bicker under my breath about the silly lag every single time a new event quest comes out. Every single time. Okay, anyway. Let's get on to the Black Widow Clairvoyant. So she's going to be great for these paths, strongly believe, but of course let's wait and see. And she's great for a lot, especially with me running Suicide. She can kind of decimate stuff. The big thing here on this fight is I'll be careful on those if I see the armor ups. If I don't nullify them in time, want to be careful not to get punished if I do parry. Although I do try to just to avoid temptation or bad timing. Try to do too much parrying on the Black Panther Civil Warrior fight. Additionally, too, when I'm using Claire, I play pretty careless with her. I'll take plenty of block damage or make mistakes. I don't care because I can heal up anytime I want on demand. So I play pretty aggressive and crazy with her at times because I know, especially running Suicides, I can get back to full health and easy notice pretty much on demand. And when you know you have that ability, lets you play a little more crazy. Anyway, go into the champion. Let's bring out my big boy again, Mr. Sasquatch. So let's get him up. So there's a few ways to play him. I really kind of watch my numbers, both on the left and the right, see where I'm standing as I watch my power. And depending on what hits first, really dictates how I go. And I explain it really good in the tutorial. But I kind of modify. I don't go by a set rotation. It depends on. I play to what builds up based on those percentages going on my key things I'm looking at between the left and the right, the little gray ones and the rupture ones. And I'm also relying on those staggers on champion to try to nullify those unstoppables, which seem to be doing well so far. So I went ahead and activating the Wrath of Tenarok myself with the S3. So with that being done, I'm going to try to build up some ruptures with mediums while I build up to an S2 is going to be my goal. So I'm just going to do some mediums. You see those ruptures going up. It's guaranteed rupture stack when it is on Wrath of Tenarok. So now I got 7 of them, 8. Let's go ahead and do 374,000 damage. And that was with only, 7 or 8 ruptures. But watch my others. I got videos of him with like 20-something ruptures. He can do some crazy damage. He can also keep spamming S2s as well. So, yeah. That's why I ranked up my Sasquatch, by the way. And I got a lot more on him. So let us get into MCOC. This is a new one I got. I did a video tutorial on him. A lot of people probably don't have him yet. I got him out of the recent featured crystals. Takes a little build up. I do have the tutorial on how to use them. Mainly I'm just going to try to do a bunch of 5-hit combos to begin with, because over there in the blue, those hatred, each time either of us finish the 5-hit combo, the hatred goes up, so I really want to get those up to 10 is the goal. So once I get them up to 10, I can start playing them the way I like to play them. I talk about his rotations and what he can do on the tutorial. So just a matter of getting him up there. And I just ran right into that S2, son of a gun. Well, I really wanted to show you a little bit of what MCOC can do to get a little interest, because I believe people are underestimating his ability. Well, unfortunately, I did him zero justice there, and still watch the tutorial. Trust me on that. It's good. He's a good champ. I just ran right into an S2 like a silly, stupid mistake there. And I was just getting him to where his good buildup was at as well when he starts doing his cool damage. But, oh well, that is okay. Let us fight, and get revenge. Let us avenge MCOC against Silver Surfer here. And good old Claire doing what she does. Getting this damage going on. I switched it back to Curse of Blood so that I could heal back up. I like to try to keep my Claire nice and healed with those S2's Curse of Blood, and that'll let me finish this fight at 100%. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying just a bit ago. Claire, you do when you learn how to use her, and especially if you're running suicides, you can play a little reckless because you're back up at 100% pretty much whenever you want. Pretty cool character, let me tell you. Let's go into Psylocke now. Let's fight her. Expect to see Psylocke later on in my walkthroughs. Many of you know I'm a big fan of her, and I'm planning on trying to show her a little bit in here in the later chapters, whichever chapter ends up having the mutant quest, probably chapter 3, I think, but I don't remember. So you saw the stun immunity came up, but I am keeping those staggers on. Those staggers are helping me deal with that stun immunity stuff and some of the other buffs. And I'm watching my numbers on him, so I'm just I'm at the S3 before Wrath of Tanarok has activated, so I can't seem to get her to bait her special. There she finally goes. I got it out, so now I'm going to activate Wrath of Tanarok, and I don't want to hit the S3 after if it activates by itself, because then you just waste time. So if it has an activated S3 and I'm high up, I'll activate it myself. Now I'm going to do some mediums to build up some S2. If she stops hitting me. Stop hitting me, woman. And I want to make sure I get in there, get some S2 going on now, and get some not even any crit and still well over 100,000 damage. And not even that many ruptures can do some damage. So let's get on moving now to Karnak. Alrighty. I'm having fun with my big boy there. So I say let's keep on going, show a little more of what he can do. As we see a lot of these mystics, most mystics are going to be pretty good for especially nullifiers, and Sasquatch isn't even a nullifier, but that stagger does work there, and he's pretty dang dominant as we do see. I'm just having fun with him, so I'm going to use him a little bit more. He's really fun for these nodes. And watching the numbers there, deciding if I'm going to go to S2s or Wrath of Tanarok. And I'm trying to get him to, there we go. Now I'm trying to see if Wrath of Tanarok will activate on its own. It's already up at 9, so it should activate any minute. And there it goes, it activates. So I'm going to try to, here we go. Oh, didn't do as much. I had no ruptures on him, so let's go ahead and try to get a couple more and do that S2 now. 215,000 on that one hit of the 3 of the special 2 was pretty nice. So you can just spam S2 on him. He can also do, especially when he gets under lower health, he can recover from the recoil. Has some different ways for regeneration, so he's actually really suicide friendly despite the fact going to take some recoil damage. And let's get into the boss now. So we see power play for 20 seconds. So Fate Sealed, Subterfuge, whatever, block. Each time attack of a Fury buff. 2 or more buffs. Defender slowly accumulates power. Okay. So I gotta get buffs, but he gets advantage if I get buffs, and he does not take any damage unless I have 3 buffs. However, anytime I launch a special, I get a Fury buff. Well-timed blocks give me a Fury too. So when I was looking at these nodes at first, I was thinking I need a champ that had a whole bunch of buffs automatically. Someone like Odin, well, I was originally bringing him, which I do have a new tutorial with him after his buff, by the way, or retweak, whatever you want to call it, pretty amazing, because he can get so many buffs. And I realized, wait a minute, you don't have to have a champ that gets a ton of buffs. You can make your own buffs. So then I decided to use Guardian, who was my backup. I always like to bring him along for his block proficiency synergy anyway, and I'm just playing, man, I just took a lot of damage. The sloppy move there on the miss, got punished heavily to try to play a little more careful. So I am going to make my own buffs by doing perfect blocks, pairing. Can get perfect block with him, and I'm by doing specials. So I'm just going to kind of whip out a rotation with Guardian. With that being said, I had a bad start after I missed and got heavily punished, but I know my guy Guardian can take care of me. He's probably my favorite these days. There's just very little he can't handle. He always comes through for me. So I'm playing careful right now because I'm afraid of a repeat of what happened at the beginning of the fight. And I did my S1 to S2 rotation and left him with 2% left and one little smackdown, and down that monkey goes. Take a nap, you little monkey. Hit monkey is done. So we saw how that works. So just build your own buffs if you don't want to bring a buff heavy champ like I did by pairing and doing a special. You saw how Guardian worked pretty good well. Just be careful not to get punished if you miss a hit like I did at the beginning. We got some recovery going on. Hope you like this. Don't forget I got Chapter 2, Chapter 3 coming out always every single month. I got these event quest walkthroughs Cavalier, so make sure you keep notifications on. Subscribe. Click that left link. MCOC, Al Bundy rules. Thanks for watching.